Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 191 of Clash of the Podcast. I am Conrad Cushman of Everything Pro Wrestling. Next to me is Sean Hubbard of HW Weekly. Together, when we put our forces together, we are Clash of the Podcast. And we form the mega powers that put together an excellent weekly wrestling podcast show for you and all of yours. So if you guys haven't already, do us a favor, make sure you're retweeting the show, showing the show some love, get out there, hit the like button on this video, and do everything that you can to help support us. And we got a loaded show for you guys, so I don't want to take up too much time with this intro. And I'm just going to wait for my cue.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, Conrad. So we're really excited that we are here to release a new edition of Clash of the Podcast. We're ready to fire on all cylinders. And we understand that right now it's only one thing left to say. Get it? Release, fire. You already know what it is. Conrad, drop that thing.
Welcome, everybody.
Yes, sir. It's good to be here, man. Conrad, it's just a fantastic Monday afternoon here in New York City. I hope the weather was agreeable up there in upper New York.
Oh, yeah, it was good today. It was very warm. Took a nice stroll for my exercise for today. So
beautiful. It's funny you say that. I did the same. Yep.
Yeah. Had to just get out, man. Can't touch some grass once in a while. You know, this wrestling stuff gets like that. Yes, needed it, especially after that long Mania week. I'm going to Barry Horowitz this one a little bit.
You should.
We did a pretty good job there.
I think so too. I
was tired though.
Next year we might give ourselves an extra day off.
Yeah, we may have to dial that back a little bit. I'm sure I'll be crying though by the time we get to All In or something else too. Though I'll be all right. We'll figure it out.
I mean, what about All In week maybe or no?
I was thinking that possibly maybe.
I mean, I'm down. You know, I'm down.
We'll see what it brings to us because that is a big week though. That's like going back to school. It's a lot. I don't know why we're thinking about that. We haven't gotten to bust out the grills yet, so we will get there and we will do our thing. We appreciate all of you who have popped in and joined up with us tonight. Let's go through and give our shout outs. Big shout out to Clown in the house.
Cleasy, 13Z, 4 Tweezy.
He says, afternoon, everyone. To go from having one of the most successful Halloween Horror Night rides at Universal Studios to 6 months later, your let go from the company feels shady, almost as if WWE used the Wyatt Six to milk every last drop out of Bray Wyatt's legacy when they felt like they got all the pennies they could. Wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Bro, I don't see the lies. Clown and I don't always agree, but I understand what he's talking about today.
Yeah, we'll get into the full list. Quills is in the house as well.
Quilly!
He said, what up, Conrad, Sean, Chat? Your boy, Sir Quills, is back to enjoy my two favorite bros, CJ and Hubs, for episode 191 of the best wrestling podcast out today, Clash of the By God Podcast. Hashtag EPW, hashtag HWW.
Yes, sir.
And he said, yeah, it's everyone's least favorite time of the year, WWE unnecessary release season, especially the names that go around. Yeah, we'll talk about all of them. I promise you guys. Ray Thompson in the house. He said, happy Monday, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Beautiful
hope
family.
You had a great weekend.
Beautiful family, RT.
That's right, Ray. Appreciate you, brother. Matt Lopez says, hello.
M. Leezy Fo Sheezy. Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a good week. And let's kick the week off right with the two aces of our pro wrestling community. M. Leezy, I appreciate you, my G.
Yeah, and he's talking about Black Friday as well. It's usually Fridays.
Yep.
Kind of in a wrestling funk right now. LOL, not a fan of what either two major companies are doing at the moment.
I respect his opinion.
Yeah, tough though. Sometimes I'm just like, what are people looking for? But
I mean, I think AEW is doing well, but I mean, everybody knows I'm kind of a hater when it comes to. Well, I'm not a hater when it comes to WWE. I tell the truth.
Hey, yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that LFG stuff too. Miracle, What's up to my favorite podcast
Miracle in the
tag
building.
team?
For those of you guys who hear me, I think Conrad's having a little bit of a technical difficulty, but I'll give Miracle. I'm searching for a miracle. Believe the impossible. He says, "What up to my favorite podcast tag team, Conrad and Sean? Always looking forward to discussing some wrestling with you two and the chat. We appreciate you, Miracle." And Conrad, I think, is back in the building.
Yeah. Am I freezing up?
You were for a second, but you're back. It's all good.
See, not showing freezing on my end. Very weird because I can see everything right in front of me. So weird.
No worries.
Appreciate you, Miracle. Let me see here. Okay, we talked about that. Ray says that he likes Oba and Trick getting pushed. I'm enjoying the FTR and Cope and Cage feud, but that's really it.
Hey, he's mentioning Oba and Trick. He likes that in WWE. He likes FTR and Cope and Cage. He likes that in AEW. That's fair.
Yeah. Let's see here. I know Sean will have a. Yeah, well, I don't know if I showed Sean that yet. He might be getting something. AEW.
I'm aware. I got a lot to say.
Okay. AEW Fan Hub. It's Monday. You know what that means. It's time for Clash of the Podcast. Shout out to our good friends over at AEW Fan Hub. I'll sneak this in now. If you guys don't know, we have a bunch of shows that happen. Right now, you're watching Clash of the Podcast live on Monday, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time. You see the names up there.
Yes,
Shout out
sir.
to AEW Fan Hub who made this for us.
Thank you very much.
And they have the Ignition podcast, which will be live tomorrow, Tuesday, 8:45 p.m. And they're going to talk about what's going on in AEW. It's kind of like a preview to Dynamite. And if you want a Dynamite review show, you got me and Derek on Wednesdays. There you go. Boom. That's
AEW Fan Hub. Make sure you tag me in your stuff so I can repost and follow me, and I'll do the same. Haven't been able to find you on social media, my G.
There you go. But much appreciated. Thank you guys so much for that. T-Ferg says, "What's good, fellas? Hope everyone had a great weekend. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on all the roster cuts in WWE, and should we expect more soon?" I think we're okay for now. I'm knocking on wood as I say that, but I think we're okay.
What up, Ferg? I think Conrad's in the best. Hopefully.
Yo, Rob, are you traveling yet? You better leave me alone. He said, "On time? Y'all got something to say, huh?" Yeah, there's a lot to say today.
What up, Rob?
Doug says, "Another Monday, another clash. Conrad, Sean, chat. Teach him how to Dougie. Teach him how to Dougie."
Hey.
You got to come to the YouTube feed to see Sean dancing, though.
Yes, sir.
Sorry, audio listeners. We got E in the house. What's good, E?
What up?
Our girl Jocelyn's here. Conrad Hubs chat. All love and enjoy.
Jocelyn, we appreciate you.
That's right. The Knicks are still in it. Possible Eastern Conference champs. They're going to have to get it together.
All right. I'm going to be brief. 30 seconds or less. A, Game 4 was must win. I think now that we have won Game 4, I am 80% confident we are going to win the series. B, I am very concerned about us playing Boston in the second round. Very, very concerned. Do I think it can be done? I do. Am I confident my team will fight? I am. Am I confident they'll win the series? I'm not. However, if they do somehow win that series, I do believe the Knicks will go to the finals because I don't think Detroit can beat them, especially the way they're struggling against Orlando.
I can't believe that, too. That's like a shock for me as well. Like, yeah. I'm like, Detroit, what's happened? Like, all year you had this.
Game 4 tonight in that series. I mean, we could, by the time we go to bed tonight, Detroit could be on the brink.
Listen, I'll say this. How about those Buffalo Sabres, too?
I mean, shout out to the Sabres. I see y'all doing
No. I just do a victory lap for anyone who knows me that watches this. Look at me. This is my moment for 1 second.
Okay.
I told y'all about Lindy Ruff, and they were like, he's washed. Don't bring back that old coach. He had them on that line. That's what happened. They were like, yeah, we ain't running, bro. We got to get a goal right here. Yeah. It's got to go down. Sabres have been playing great, though. Had to get my hockey talk in.
Yo, shout out to Miracle. The Raptors are not just in it. The Raptors are really in it. The Raptors didn't just win Game 3. They won Game 4 also.
They're not slouches, though. Like
nobody expected them to be with Cleveland. Like, they're going back to Cleveland tied.
Man, yeah. Listen, I ain't sweating.
You got to think about on the West, everybody's getting smashed. But on the East, every series is either 2-1, except Boston. Boston's taking care of business. But every series is either 2-1 or 2-2.
Yeah, that's for sure. Professor BJ, he said, in between legs day sets, this is your notice to get those assignments in. Only a couple of weeks till finals. Good luck, stay positive, and follow through. Appreciate that.
Everybody likes a BJ. That's his social media handle. Relax.
That's right. He said, "Watch out picking up your phone on a Friday when work is calling." That is a fact.
Yep. Miracle, I got you. Don't worry about it, brother. I got you.
Yes. Look at that. Here goes Rob, as you can see who he's a fan of.
Rob, I'll be the first to say the Knicks. I believe the Knicks will take care of business against Atlanta. I am very concerned about playing you guys in the second round. However, if we get past you, if somehow we put together a run of perfect basketball and get past you guys, we will beat Detroit. If Detroit is even there.
That is also a real question.
Oh, my God. This thing is wide open, Conrad. Wide open.
On the East, yeah. I'm not putting any money down on anybody right now. Like, they got
it.
And
also, we might see some history. Not many people have come back from 3-1. Not many people. I think it's like a 92% clip. But Denver being down 3-1, but Ant-Man is out and Dante DiVincenzo is out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
so you're telling me my man Joker can't win 3 in a row with the other team having no backcourt,
and there've been some bad injuries too.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm thinking of our boy on the Spurs, man. He hit his head pretty hard. I think he's back though, right?
Oh, he's back and he played like a champ yesterday. The Spurs are rolling; they're up 3-1 as well. I have a question for you, Conrad.
Spurs gonna be a problem next year.
Yeah, any chance we could see history on the West Coast side? Obviously not OKC. But I'm thinking about the Lakers and the Rockets. The Rockets were finally able to get on the board last night. Any chance the Rockets come back and make history or no?
I don't know.
Nobody's done it. Nobody's done it in NBA history. So I'm asking something crazy, like them coming back from 0-3. Anybody think that's a possibility?
Is KD coming back?
KD, that's the question. We don't know yet.
That's the answer to me then. If KD comes back and he's going to show that he could ball, then be my guest. We went through the shout outs. We thank y'all for that. With that being said, man, I want to give a quick mini shout out here to Wrestle Queendom. If you guys have never watched Stardom, this would be a perfect show for you guys to start up. I don't want to give out any spoilers, even though I have seen some of the results, but Stardom is fantastic women's Joshi pro wrestling. You guys can enter our Discord and come in and talk about it in there. We have a section for Joshi wrestling. And yeah, I thought it was a fantastic event, and I think that some people should try to check it out, at least from what I've seen thus far. So I just wanted to give some props, and you'll see some AEW stars on there, as you can see if you look at the second picture from the left down. You see Megan Bain was featured on this card. You can see Maki Ito, who you've seen featured in AEW, and then there's been plenty of people who have come from here that have left other organizations, and then they are somewhere else now. So just pay attention to the folks in there. You may see them later, is all I'll say for the time being. Yeah. You guys are hilarious in the chat with your basketball talk. Sean, let's kick things off here first. I want to start off on a positive note. We're going to try and make this I don't even know if you could positively compliment what has happened this week. There's a lot happening.
We're going to make it a show that's fair.
That's right. As we always do.
Yes.
We got to talk about how Raw ended last week. We had Roman Reigns, and he was coming out, and he went over to his cousins who we saw there, which feels wrong to see them, by the way, in the Vegas Raiders jerseys. They're 49ers fans. But he was like, hey, yo, come on, roll with me. And it was like the band got back together. You know what I mean? It was like cousins who hadn't seen each other since, college, and then everybody's home, and they're like, yo, let's roll with this. Yeah. And they come out, talk their mess, and they're looking for their first challenger, and it's Jacob Fatu. And I think he cut a really good promo that people could get behind. I'm talking like NWA level promo of, that's right, I need to eat. And with people struggling with money, you could get behind that. You could feel that. And the storyline expanded. And I wanted to get your thoughts, interpretations on that, because you are driving that the Uso bandwagon. So with them kind of being on the outside and in the middle of this, wanted to get your thoughts.
World Wrestling Entertainment was built on singles competitors. However, I believe the lifeblood, no pun intended, is in factions. D-Generation X, If you want to go WCW, NWO, the Horsemen. And I think that in World Wrestling Entertainment in the present day, the Bloodline resonate. Okay? Now, everything runs its course, Conrad Cushman. And there comes a time when you have to let it go. This is not my Bloodline fandom talking. I do not have the wheel as I drive the Uso bandwagon in my hand at this current moment. The car is parked. I'm out of the car. But I'm going to be honest with you, Conrad. When Roman Reigns walked through the backstage area and got to gorilla position and dapped up the Usos, not that moment, then turned his back on the Usos, turned around and said, come on. The crowd went insane. The biggest pop of the night. To me, that's the answer to the question. The Bloodline should ride again. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, Conrad Cushman, because I'm not sure if you disagree or agree. I'm sorry, people that disagree. I don't care if it was done for 4 years. I don't care if Jey Uso went off and won the World Heavyweight Championship, much deserved, by the way. I don't care if Solo Sikoa's in the MFT. I don't care as much as I like Jacob Fatu that he wears a stupid sweatsuit with his face on it. All I care about is what's best as it relates for the fandom of World Wrestling Entertainment. And for a product, Conrad Cushman, as I hand it back to you, that has been a C- show for years, there's only been one A+. In that time, there's only been one thing that has been something that makes you want to dial in. Oh, yeah, you could talk about CM Punk's return to WWE. You could talk about Rhea Ripley. I personally always talk about Bianca Belair. But there is one entity in professional wrestling, specifically World Wrestling Entertainment, that makes you stop what you're doing, turn off the PlayStation 5, make sure the kids are tucked in bed, kiss your fiance in my case, kiss your wife in your case, and make sure that you're tuned in. And that is the Bloodline. Your thoughts?
You're not wrong. Business Kush is going to come in the room and say, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
What made us money last time? Well, when were we at our peak last? It was probably the Bloodline stuff. And I like the Bloodline members. I don't have an issue. You got the Usos. Probably one of the best tag teams of this generation for WWE. You have Roman Reigns, who I'm going to talk about again later. So this is going to sound like, man, you switched up. Just hear me out when I'm talking about this.
Yes, sir.
You got Roman Reigns, who took you to the top. People may not want to always believe that, but that's what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Solo, the rising upstart who had promise at one point. And now he's with the MFT, and people are kind of fizzling, but I see something there.
Mm-hmm.
Bold prediction, by the way. You can clip this if you guys want. I'm going to call it now. I think Solo Sikoa is going to be the one that gets turned on in the MFTs to boot him out, to get back together the original Bloodline.
Okay.
But minor detail. Then you add Jacob Fatu into this. Jacob Fatu's on another planet. This brother should have been signed years ago when he was in MLW. Should have been signed years ago. And they have put together something great. My only complaint about the Bloodline is, Sean, how come other things didn't get to last as long without all this hate and this went on for too long? Think about it. How long did DX really last?
How long did DX really last? DX lasted from 1997, late fall, through 2000.
3 years.
Yes, sir.
Interesting. The Bloodline lasted longer than DX.
Yes, sir.
That's wild. That's just thinking back in hindsight. The peak of NWO. Horsemen were on again, off again, on again, off again, right?
Yes, sir.
But peak NWO, and people talk about how sick of it they were, and I'm just like, you're not sick of this? They love it though, I guess. And if that's what the people want, that's what the people get. What I'm trying to say is sometimes I do not understand this fan base as much as I did pre-pandemic. Like things have changed, and I can feel that, and I know that.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes I have to tell us that. I have to tell me, you, Pro Wrestling Shoot, whoever we're working with. I'm like, the product has changed though a little bit.
Yes.
We have to take that into account. But to me, if you're sitting in that creative room and someone brought up, hey, should we get the Bloodline back together? I think this might be the move. Can't be mad at it. Like,
can't be mad at it, but
there's no but. Can't be mad at it, in my opinion.
Oh,
like,
okay. I thought they were okay. All right.
Yeah, usually there's a butt with me, but this time, no booties, no butts.
Okay.
It's what it is. They're going to end up doing this. I hope that they can put together some compelling stories, and I hope this isn't just we're here for Roman. I think this time it has to be Roman's here for us too, where Roman's going to be like, nah, you ain't jumping my cousins. We got this now this time. You know what I mean? I think it's got to be different than what we did last time.
Is there any way, Conrad Cushman, you know I'm serious when I call you by your full name, is there any way that my dream, you know where I'm going with this, I'm laughing, but I'm serious. Is there any way on God's green earth that Jey Uso can become the tribal chief?
No. I don't think so.
No, that's fine. I thought the answer was no also. I just don't want him nor Jimmy. I don't want him nor Jimmy to become lackeys again.
No, I personally think that he's going to want them back with the tag titles. And I think that's going to happen sooner than later. I think Theory and Logan Paul, it's fun for now until we get to a pay-per-view. And then I think they're going to be right back in that mix.
But we do have a problem. And I say problem because I'm a Uso fan and I would love to have them have the tag team championship. And it's not a bad problem if you're talking about me being fair and appreciating what I've been talking about for months. I'm getting there. Just take the ride with me. I love the Street Profits. I love them. I'm glad they're back. So that might defer the Usos regaining what seems to be a predestined outcome of them being tag champions again. And as you gather your thought, let me throw one more thing at you for you to chew on. And if they have to go through the Street Profits, my question then becomes, because we got a little taste of it on SmackDown, will this Bloodline 2.0 be heels?
Not to start.
I want to check you on that, my brother. You're a very smart man. Either there's one or two things. Either you weren't paying attention or you didn't watch. Jimmy Uso was calling the fans fools on Friday. Don't listen to these fools. That's heel. And I was kind of like, oh, is that what they're doing? They're going heel already? I thought that was strange.
Could it be that they played into it because they're going up against another face right now who is Jacob?
Touche. Okay.
To elevate Jacob? Because someone's going to eat. When you have two baby faces, someone's got to be the first to spark off and be a jerk.
Okay.
No matter what.
Okay.
It could be Sting and Luger. Usually Luger was the jerk. Like, you know my body's better than yours, Sting. And it's like,
right.
Hold on, Lexi. You're not going to do that to me now. I was a WCW U.S. champion.
And I can tell you have more of a life than me because you were not watching SmackDown and I was like a loser. But I watched the first part. I went out with my lady that night, but I saw the first half hour and obviously that was all Bloodline. And the narrative was that Jimmy was telling Jacob to do the right thing. Let's stop all this talk about championships and let's fall in line and acknowledge the tribal chief and ride this thing out together. And that's when don't listen to these fools. You know what the right thing to do is. That's where that came from.
Yeah. And it could be the language of the region they're in too. Mm-hmm. I'm just pointing that out there. Because were they West Coast still?
They were still on the West Coast. No, they were in Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, no. Yeah, they were in Texas. They were in Texas. Yeah. So,
but yeah. I think all in all, Conrad, we're on the doorstep of something that could be great. Now, I do have a theory about what could possibly happen that might change the course of what we're talking about here. Now, what you talked about, it's a lot of fun to talk about. For the first time, WWE has something fun on the table. Of course, you know they're probably going to screw it up, but let's hope they don't. You have the probable, P-R-O, probable, which is Roman defeats Jacob. Jacob then falls in line. There you go. But then you have the possible, POS, possible, which is not Jacob winning the title, no. However, who's to say Jimmy and Jay really forgave Roman for all the things they've done to him, or he's done to them? Who's to say that Jacob is not who the Usos want to align themselves with? Now, if I were a betting man, Conrad Cushman, I would say it's probably going to be where they all fall in line together. But there is a chance, I'd probably say 25%, that the Usos may end up with Jacob and Roman could be the odd man out. What say you?
Could that happen? I think down the line, but not right away. I think they're going to keep them together. It's too money to have the Usos are going to probably win back the tag titles. You want that picture with them and Roman and all the belts. And Solo's kind of waited his turn. Who's to say Solo can't beat a Penta or beat a who's the United States champion right now? My mind just went blank. I don't think they take it off Trick.
But see, this is where what's this foregone conclusion I hear in your voice about Solo? Like, who says Solo's going to be a part of this thing?
I just think so. I think there's too much stuff that's going to line up too perfectly, and you're going to have to throw a swerve in there. And it looks like now, if you're watching SmackDown, which I'm sure none of you are, but if you're watching SmackDown and you're
30 minutes, and then I went outside.
Somebody's watching this show that Tama Tonga looks like he's the one who's going to get kicked out. And I think it's going to be one of those, no. The joke's on you, Solo. You haven't been leading us the right way. Boom, 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 boom. And Solo's going to be the one that gets booted out. Now, does he stay for his revenge? Maybe. But I think the time will come to where they're going to need a fourth, and Solo's going to make that move back as the henchman.
Let me tell you something, brother. I appreciate what you're saying. However, if that's the case, then what happens with so Jacob's going to lose at Backlash and not fall in line?
He could. I think he could. Now, is he going to be reluctant is the question. But maybe he sees, like, you know what? This ain't so bad.
Okay.
This ain't so bad. So,
and if that's the case, because I'm having fun with this. And if that's the case, does Sammy come back home?
I think he's a devil in sheep's clothing, maybe.
Okay. All right.
They may try to pursue him and say, "Look, we got Jacob with us now. All we're missing is you." And then when you think he's gonna do it, he turns.
Well, you know what, Conrad? You know what illuminates the room, in my opinion, brighter than any light bulb you could ever imagine? This conversation that we're having right now, 191 episodes. It's been a long time since we've spoken glowingly about WWE, and what are we talking about? The Bloodline. Finally. Now, I'm not saying. Look at me, Conrad. I'm not saying they may not screw it up, but as we stand right here, right now, WWE. I'm looking forward to Monday Night Raw tonight. At least that segment.
To see where they go. And it's nice that Roman's actually going to be around. That was the key thing for me coming out of WrestleMania was, is Roman going to be here? I sure hope so. And then that's what we got. So, and I'm reading people's comments, Sean. I'm very surprised that some of the fans, like T-Ferg said, not feeling the Bloodline. Time to push more talent. Only way I find interest if Trick, Oba, Mello, the Prophets form a faction against the Bloodline. You could do that, but I don't think you want to defeat some of those people that you just named too.
Who said that?
T-Ferg.
Shout out to T-Ferg. Appreciate you. Here's the problem, T-Ferg. And anybody else, I think BJ's against it as well. Conrad Cushman, it's like my opening monologue, bro. It's like what I just said a few minutes ago, my brother. Tell me with a straight face, Conrad Cushman, BJ, T. Fur, tell me with a straight face, what has been more entertaining than the Bloodline in the past 5 years in WWE? The Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley, CM Punk, maybe CM Punk. But
a little bit.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about right now?
I think
all
Punk,
Roman Reigns had to do was go like this. And the crowd screamed like it was like Hogan slamming Andre.
I won't go that far. I don't know. I'd have to definitely see the octave score, but I think people's interest peaked instantly. Like,
yeah.
Oh, what's this? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then when you heard Jacob's music, I was like, oh, business picked up here. What's happening?
Well, I thought Jacob was going to join. See, I'm not going to lie. That moment kind of disappointed me.
But he still wants, he wants to eat. And I think Jacob is a future player. I have said that. I know you get mad when I say Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
I think we're seeing their pillars develop of who's next.
Right. Shout out to BJ. Okay, maybe not as big as Hogan and Andre. Okay, Cody winning at Mania 40. That kind of pop. All right, we're looking for a pop that was comparable to when Roman went like this. Okay, we'll say Cody WrestleMania 40. That's cool.
Yeah, that was more Rock, Roman, and Cody. He's saying the interest came from Rock, Roman, and Cody. I think it's a mix of them being involved in it and the interest that generated from the longest title reign that people hadn't seen in a long time. Because wrestling used to only have long title reigns. Sean and me remember this as kids. If you won the title, I was like, yeah, you're not beating Bret Hart in his first title reign. No offense to Shawn Michaels. I was like, yeah, it's not happening. Or who was it? Razor Ramon at the Rumble. That wasn't happening. They didn't do that until a few years later. But way back in the day, you're holding that belt for a minute, dog. And that's what it was. And what's old is new again. So, and now I feel like we're getting kind of back to this little, like, in the realm of AEW, let's just say, Attitude Era type title reigns. You could lose it the next show. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. Well, they might flip flop.
I want to give you your flowers and say that I agree with that as it relates to the WWE Championship. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think Roman. Actually, my prediction is that Roman's going to hold that title for at least till SummerSlam.
I agree with that, though.
Right.
I think I have him till SummerSlam too. I don't believe he's losing, but that's just me. A pop compared to Roman Reigns' finger point, the debut of the Wyatt Six. Yeah. I mean, Roman could just do that, and
every pop we're talking about. Okay. How about this, guys? Conrad Cushman, how about this? I know one thing for darn sure. Roman Reigns going like this was the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a lot of people react.
Yeah.
And business picked up. Like I said, things definitely got interesting. And then we had Jacob Fatu. I mean, Sean, I wanted to get your thoughts on him before we move into the next subject.
Sure.
How much faith do you have in Jacob Fatu as a main eventer? Like I said, we've heard your thoughts on Braun Breaker. I believe Jacob's one of the guys that I could see main eventing WrestleMania as soon as next 2 years. I could definitely see Jacob in there with Braun Breaker, with Oba Femi, with Trick Williams, potentially, depending on who else develops into that spot. I still think one of the spots is opening up for grabs. But how do you feel?
I don't think, and I'm excluding Oba and Trick, and I'm doing that respectfully. To me, they're going to be made men in the very near future. I'm talking about a straight up comparison to Braun Breaker, between Braun Breaker and Jacob Fatu. I don't think it's even close. The only thing Braun Breaker has on Jacob Fatu is his athleticism. Jacob Fatu is a fantastic athlete as well. Jacob Fatu has more charisma than Braun Breaker. Jacob Fatu has more fan appeal than Braun Breaker. It's not even close. But to answer your question, 100%. Jacob Fatu is a main eventer. Is he ready to be world heavyweight champion? Not right now. But Jacob Fatu as my champion would not bother me.
I'm not mad at that. And like I said, is he ready for the main event? I think this is I'll call this the litmus test. I don't even know if they still do this in science. This is the heat check, as I like to call it, in basketball, football, whatever. Like, let me see if you're going to catch this if I throw this.
You're hitting the nail right on the head. That's exactly what this is. They're going to test. This is his moment to see if he can hang.
You think his family's going to let him fail? I just want people to think how I'm thinking for a second. You think his family's going to let him fail?
The Usos were in the ring during his promo. The Usos are supposed to be against him, and the Usos are smiling ear to ear because they're so happy for him.
Yeah, 100%. Because this guy went through a lot, and there was a time where we wondered if he would ever get the big opportunity. And here we are now. It just took a regime change for him to get it. And people forget those little things that are in there. And BJ, good comment before. I'm just going to read it real quick again. He said, I'm not denying it's off the back of the bloodline, length, and reign. I'm just saying that the minute we had The Rock versus Roman debacle, it shifted to those three instead of the faction for that duration. Yeah, during the peak of it, completely understand that. Same thing with Punk. I think Punk helps when there was a stagnant time. Punk kept people there like, yeah, I'm back. Yes, you got something else to sink your teeth into. And Cody did a good job with it too. Like, he kept people's interest long enough. Who could go back-to-back Royal Rumbles like that? Because honestly, bruh, most people can't do that. People will be sick and tired of it.
Hogan, Austin, Cody, HBK.
Not many. Oba and Braun are the 1A and 1B, but I don't see Jacob on that level.
Wow, really?
Wow, Ray. Matt says Jacob Fatu is the main event player. He said, watch out for Trick and Dom, though.
Well, Dom is on the verge. I think Trick is going to stay where he's at for a little bit. Trick, by next year this time, will probably be in the same spot that Jacob is in, where they're going to be trying him out as a main event player. Dom, you can insert Dom into the world title picture right now. I don't know if he'd win the belt.
If I'm giving a fair assessment as a fan on where I see Dom, I think Dom's going to be in that spot that I always dub, like, I can't say the other person's name, but the Eddie Guerrero spot, where you could be the mid-card champion at any moment. That's fine. But if I needed someone to throw into the mix in a main event, I'm calling him. And I think that's where Dom can be. So, yeah. So do you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's like one of the major focuses, but
no, I get it.
Throw him in. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're fine.
Let me tell you something that's going to blow your mind, brother. Dom being world heavyweight champion right now would not bother me. It would not bother me. It would give me Chris Jericho 2002 vibes, and it would not bother me one bit.
T-Ferg asked, are we going to see Zilla Fatu in WWE possibly? Or possibly AEW?
I think that's the question that's on everybody's mind. I mean, I think at this point, the way the storyline's going, Zilla could get that call tomorrow for all we know.
Yeah, I think Zilla needs to just keep working and be safe and just wait. Wait your turn.
That phone is going to ring eventually.
Yeah. Trick has been fantastic. I think Trick has the look that they want easily. He's got the look. He looks like he should be on the cover of, do they even still do WWE magazine? Outside magazines, whatever. Trick has the look. So I could definitely see that. KJ, how are you doing? T-Ferg said, wish Drew McIntyre would have got a serious push in the past 6 years. I couldn't tell you why they didn't do that, brother. I think so too. Oba is ready now. I see a lot of people calling for Oba to get the Brock push. We'll see what they do. Trick will end up being what I initially thought Ricky Starks would be. You don't have faith in Ricky anymore, it sounds like. Dom is 29. He has time. I mean, why can't the time be now, though? I used to ask that question when I was younger.
The Rock was a 27-year-old prodigy. How come Dom can't?
Dom is one of the Raw 6, like the old SmackDown 6. Ooh, good comparison, BJ.
I like that.
I do. And last question before I move on to the next thing. Any hopes of Paul Heyman getting back involved? Let's say they do turn heel. Do you want to see Heyman back with them? Because I feel like Heyman's wasting away in this Vision stuff. I'm like, what is this? Like, this doesn't feel...
I think the way you word, I think the last part of that question that you just added at the very end, if they turn heel, is pretty much the answer to my question. If they turn heel, of course. If they don't, then no. Got
it. I want to stick to something else we saw on Raw. Sorry for Cody's eye there. But CM Punk, Cody Rhodes. They had a little interaction, and Punk did one of his, happy-go-lucky promos, but mentioned that he lost a lot of people, which is more than losing the championship. But he said, you never know when that opportunity is going to fall out the sky. And he looked down at Cody's title as he said this. Is there any hope, want Was this just a breadcrumb trail for next year for this championship? Because are we in for another long Cody Rhodes title reign?
Yeah, I mean, I think CM Punk versus Cody is probably the plan for 43, but and I'll be brief because I talked about it during the live stream last week. Shout out to Jesse for helping us out when I had to go to Bible study. Y'all did a great job, by the way. I'm so tired of this mutual admiration society. You're my friend. No, you're my friend. I love you. No, I love you. You look great with it. By the way, you look great as champion. But I'm not making this up. You look great as champion. Thanks, you do too. What? Like, man up. Like, what are you guys doing? So for the sake of my sanity and the fact that I want to keep from vomiting in my mouth, I hope this stuff stops really soon. Yes.
I think that's the way you have to start, though, the baby faces off. We're friends, but someone's going to say something, Sean, that's going to make them mad. I still love the promo that they did. The best promo that these two have cut against each other so far was the old school one where it was about Dusty. And it was more so about you, what was it? Punk, I'm more of a revolutionary than you ever were. And then Punk got the mic and said, I'm more of a common man than you ever were. Your father was in the business. You could easily get into the thing that I wanted to get into. My dad was the plumber. And I thought that was an excellent promo.
That was smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. They could tell a heck of a story with that if they get there. My question to you is this a match for Backlash, though? Or do you think they can hold off another year on this? Triple H has been
CM Punk and Cody Rhodes Backlash? No, but I mean, I could see it being like Money in the Bank or SummerSlam.
Because right now the roster split is not in a good place, in my opinion. If Jacob's on Raw now because of Roman, SmackDown just lost a major player. So what is SmackDown getting?
I mean, they have Cody, which is not much at this point. Look, at the end of the day, the bottom line is. No, you don't do it at Backlash. Number one, you're not going to have 2 world title matches at Backlash anyway. However, absolutely not do you wait till next year. You have to pay this off sometime. I think SummerSlam being 2 nights is exactly what you need. I think the main event should be Roman and Oba and then on the other side, you have CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. You have to pay it off sooner than WrestleMania 43. That's too far away, bro. That's too far away.
Miracle, I hear you. Jacob is not on Raw officially, but when I show you this picture,
you have to sit up here and you have to think about things, man. Like, the Warrior didn't mistakenly punch Hogan in the face the night after WrestleMania 5. It was around January of the year that they fought. It wasn't Macho Man didn't knock out Hogan with the belt the night after WrestleMania 4. It was about 2 months before WrestleMania. You can't have Cody and CM Punk tease a title match the day after WrestleMania 42 and make us wait until WrestleMania 43 and expect us to still be engaged.
So you think they're going to? So you believe they're going to keep them separate for now?
Oh no. See, let me clarify, and I don't understand why you need clarification because you're a smart man and you know me very well. Them going at it before WrestleMania, that's a good idea. So you know what that means. They probably will not fight until WrestleMania 43. Just because I said what's right doesn't mean that's what they're going to do.
Right. Miracle said it's WWE. It's basically what they did with Cena and Rock. Probably not going to state the match this time, but yeah, you're probably right. It's probably the long-term tease, but another long-term Cody title reign is going to be woo.
I mean, come on, man. Dude is like getting booed now. Like, come on, bro. Stop. Like, and I'm saying stop for the sake of Cody. I don't want to see Cody get booed. It's a shame because Cody's a fantastic professional wrestler, but they're putting him in a position to get booed. He's going to beat Trick Williams in a champion versus champion match. He's going to beat Give me a name. He's gonna beat
Miro.
Right? Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna drag. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people saying, "What brand split?" Listen, I've given up hope on. any of this making
there
sense.
You go, M. Leezy. The former United States champion. Exactly. It's like, that's what's going to happen. They're going to continue dragging it. And then you might have a somewhat of a big match that, you might put, here's what you're going to do. Then you're going to put him in there with Sami Zayn and give Sami Zayn his title shot finally. And then he'll retain against Sami. And it's like, okay, now we're at Survivor Series now. Oh, okay, then he's going to be in War Games, so there's no title shot there. Then, then we'll come full circle and Randy Orton will get a title shot next January at the Royal Rumble. Oh, and before you know it, WrestleMania.
Yeah, and the transfer portal is open after Mania cuts. It's time to do some shuffling of the stars, but make it official so then people know where people are going. Yes. Yeah, I never liked the brand split. Wish it would go away forever. Yeah, I am on board with that because if you're not going to hold true to it, then don't even do it. No point in it.
It's time to shake things up again.
Speaking of people who are responsible for this,
time
to play the game. Coming from our friends over at Fightful, Sean Ross Sapp says it was heavily implied to Fightful that Paul Levesque, aka Triple H, has recently reached a new long-term agreement with TKO/WWE. This was found out today, Sean, in a meeting where Nick Khan went on to say that he does not read the internet dirt sheets. He does not care what they say. And he used examples, Sean, from 2015 of Roman Reigns, saying, look at where he is now. They said that this guy was no good. And I feel it's not genuine when he said that because basically he's like, we're at the creative leadership of Paul and things are going to be great. It's corporate speak. Mm-hmm. And when he said that, I was like, wait a minute. People didn't like Roman until Roman turned heel. There was no way. Dude, and I'm one of the people who would defend Roman sometimes. Like, guys, he's not that bad. And then people would just say, like, his character's not good, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I was in the minority at that time. But when we look at this on the other side, why does he think it's an okay example to use that? Like, I'm recognizing the issue with what I'm saying. Why doesn't he recognize, like, dude, that was bad, some of the stuff, though. It wasn't good. But, don't listen to the internet, apparently.
He's cherry picking one moment in time where the crowd was wrong. Remember, like, it's like he's talking like it was 2 weeks ago. You guys remember back at the Royal Rumble 2015 when you guys thought that Roman Reigns was terrible? You guys were wrong.
Paul's leadership is great. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't get to do that, in my opinion. And to give Triple H credit for it after, their PR team, it's been mind-boggling lately. Did he not just say, we talked about the peak of it just a second ago, WrestleMania 40, Cody, the whole shebang, right? Mm-hmm. What are we talking about here, bro? You said you didn't write any of this a couple weeks ago. Like, I had nothing to do with it until after WrestleMania 40. What?
That's bogus.
Yeah, I don't know what's true and what's not true anymore with these folks. So I have to always put like a little pin in this stuff, stamp it, and then kind of just state my piece on it. But Triple H signed a new long-term deal. I mean, it's only worth the paper it's written on too. They could get rid of him tomorrow, I assume, if they don't like his creative. But I don't know. What do you think?
Look, Triple H is terrible at his job, and the fact that we're going to have to endure 3 more years of it makes me sad. That's all I have to say about
it. That's a layup. I'm loving people's comments. I wish Triple H would go through the transfer portal and end up on Velocity.
I agree.
This is more proof TKO doesn't know how to make good decisions. Nick Khan using 11-year-old tweets to make a point. Yeah.
I mean, thank you. I mean, again, like I said, do you guys remember when you guys booed Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble 2015? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, very, very weird.
Yes, Nick, we were wrong about that 11 years ago. What about the million things we've been right about ever since?
How about Pat McAfee?
There you go.
And he was able to leave. Listen, I'll say this as a fan base. If you don't like something, you should say you don't like it. Just so that it's out there and people will see. If you don't like something, say you don't like something. And I'm sure there's going to be people who push back against it and they'll have their arguments, all that. I saw people comparing the WrestleMania time numbers to the Attitude Era. I think Jesse or James, one of them sent me a video today about it. And it was like, look at how long the Attitude Era matches were. I'm like, but we're not just talking length of time. We're talking about if it was good. That's the difference.
Cherry picking. Like, okay, you can find something wrong with the Attitude Era. You know what? Kai and Tai wasn't that great. Oh, big freaking deal. By the way, Kai and Tai was kind of fun, actually, anyway. That's actually a bad example. But what I'm trying to, you can find something wrong, but can you find anything more wrong, more examples of being negligent to your fans than you have in the past 5 years? I mean, other than the Bloodline, they've had nothing. Nothing.
My point to that was, if it's good, it's good. Like, people remember that stuff for a reason. And yes, there is a time period of untouchable. And that's the stuff where me and you first started this podcast. You guys go listen to like the first 50, 100 episodes and you'll hear it. WWE's at its peak. And why are Conrad and Sean saying these things? It just took a little bit longer for you guys to see what we were saying, because now here we are and we're like, told you. And a lot of that stuff happened.
Oh, thank God Gomez is not in charge anymore. The product's going to get better.
Robert said bullying works.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Yeah.
Like stop with the WWE's in better hands. Like, really? How?
The Attitude Era is not perfect. And I'm saying this to Miracle's comment because there's plenty wrong with it. 100%.
There's plenty wrong with the Attitude Era.
There was, Sean, to be truthful. There were a lot of bad things that they did. Just think of someone like doing angles on TV that are risque that I'm like, bro.
Oh, but that was a time.
I know.
No. I'm not going to, I'm going to let you finish.
Well, I can't say what specifically I'm talking about, but I will say it afterwards, but I can't say
I know, and I know what you mean. I know, I know.
I'm talking about like Brian Pillman and Marlena's story.
I know.
Like, what are we doing?
I know what you're talking about and the type of storylines you're talking about. That was the time.
I know, but it wasn't good, is what I'm saying.
It wasn't. No, see, time out, Conrad. It wasn't. Let me first of all say, you're right. It wasn't good. Just like Jerry Springer wasn't good. Just like all the random raunchy talk shows weren't good. Just like all the craziness on TV in general wasn't good in the 1990s going into 2000. But WWE twisted that into must-see television. Yes, it was about sex. That's why we had Sable and Sunny. It was about
we were
violence.
Preteens when it's happening, though, too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It was about violence. That's why we had Mankind being thrown off the top of his cell. But that was bad?
No, and that's what he goes on to say. And there's plenty of it that was good, too.
Right.
There's stuff you could take from it. Same thing with Ruthless Aggression. You know what I mean? Like, hey, maybe you guys could be a little more over if blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. Like, you could do that for any era if we want to pick what's good and what's bad with it. Nothing's perfect, right? Across the board.
Nothing's perfect, but you know what? This era of wrestling, there's a lot that's not perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, WWF 1995 was horrible. 100%.
It was. But that's what led to, good point, Emily, but that's what led to the Attitude Era.
And there was a lot of great in-ring matches, too, though. I will give it up. Bret Hart was one of the best during that time to watch, though. You will always know Bret Hart's going to deliver a good match.
Conrad, I want to say something that's going to blow your mind on our show. And I want to say something to our wonderful audience that's going to blow their minds on this show. I want you guys to know, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, and if there's a chance that Paul Levesque ever sees this, I hope that he sees this one day and somehow. You know, there was a time I really respected Paul Triple H Levesque. I mean, a lot. And I'm going to tell you why and how. Triple H didn't do anything wrong in 1996 in Madison Square Garden in that steel cage when he said goodbye to Kevin Nash and Scott Hall along with Shawn Michaels. Triple H didn't do a darn thing wrong. They were allowed to go out there. The owner of the company gave them permission. He didn't do anything wrong. And you know what he got for that? After Diesel and Razor went away, and Shawn was the world champion, you know what he got? He got slot matches. He got beat by Mark Merrow. He got humiliated week after week for a year. And you know what he did? He overcame that. I respect him for that, Conrad. I've never said it out loud before. There was a time I had the utmost respect for Triple H. In 1999, there was nothing I wanted to see more than Triple H not beat Mankind on Monday Night Raw the night after. I wanted him to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin at SummerSlam 1999. I wanted that. I was a Triple H fan. But you know what? That brother changed. He started manipulating. He went against his relationship with China, started seeing Stephanie, married Stephanie, got into the office, became a family member, started telling people CM Punk wasn't crap when CM Punk was probably the hottest item in the entire industry at the time. Manipulated his way into 2003, 2004, where he held the title for ridiculous amounts of time, calling Booker T nappy-headed and beating him after a pedigree after Booker T was laying on his back for 15 seconds. Don't tell me I don't have a reason to dislike Triple H, because there was a time I liked him. And you know what? I don't anymore, and I have plenty of reason why.
You're not wrong. I think that Triple H has it's weird with him because I think that he always weaseled his way into stuff. Right. That when you said that being a punishment, I think that's the reason why people will say someone gets, and I'm using air quotes here because I hate when people say this, buried. That's not being buried, being featured on television. Being buried is what they do to Zack Ryder. That's buried. Getting pushed off the stage in a wheelchair, then watching John Cena make out with the girl who you were supposed to get. That's buried. You look like a loser when stuff like that happens. Triple H never looked like a loser. Losing to Mark Merrow, not a bad thing in my opinion. Mark Merrow had a lot of problems.
The slot thing was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was fine though with that. It was Henry Godwin. Like we're still trying to figure out.
And this even for you, as somebody who I consider to be a brother, like I don't want you guys just thinking I hate Triple H for no reason. Like I have legitimate reason. The guy's been underhanded for years, for decades.
But what I'm saying is, Sean, he made a decision to hang out with the clique, and he carried the clique's bags. Like he was like, "Yo, I'm your guy. Like, welcome me into." He knew who to get with, is what I'm saying. He's no fool. He knew who to hang out with. I don't know how he got into those rooms, but he was in those rooms, and some of that stuff is what eventually became the problem. And they taught him how to play these games. That's why he is the game, probably, no pun intended. But he learned how to play these games, and he ended up getting into the room.
Well, as somebody that I respect, Conrad Cushman, I hope that you can now have a better understanding of my dislike for Paul Triple H Levesque.
Yeah, no,
because it's not just a random thing. It's not just because he won't make Jey Uso champion again. Like, come on, let's be real. I'm being serious. There's some stuff about this brother that's not cool.
Right. Hate is a strong word, but he is definitely a snake, 100%.
Right, and let me clarify. I do not hate Triple H. I said that it kind of like as a figure of speech. I dislike Triple H and his conduct. I do dislike him and his conduct. I think he needs to clean some stuff up. I don't think he does things fairly. I don't.
Well, let's see how he does things, because that's our next story.
Yes.
The WWE departures that Triple H, Nick Khan, and talent relations were the primary decision makers. You can read more about this at Fightful Select. And we're going to get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Now, before we talk about this, Sean, allow me to make this statement for both of us.
Please.
I don't want to see anyone lose their job. Number one, it sucks. It's a horrible, horrible thing. We are going to be talking. Stuff may pop up about where could they go. I'm not fantasy booking people to lose their jobs and then go other places. It's not like that. We are just talking. We're speculating. We're just talking as fans. Mm-hmm. So I don't want anyone to be sad, because I know one of the stories we're going to have to talk about does involve Sean Ross Sapp. And are you on the talent side or are you on the reporter side? And we'll talk about it, because you can get into it in many things. Big shout out to Sean for the full list here. WWE has released the following wrestlers. Now, this is all over the place, but I'm going to summarize it with the Wyatt Six are on here. So it's going to be Nikki Cross, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, Joe Gacy, Bo Dallas, Andre Chase, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Dante Chen, Kairi Sane, Aleister Black, Zelina Vega, the Motor City Machine Guns, Santos Escobar, Apollo Crews, Tyra May Steele, Chris Island, Trill London, Tyreek Igwe, Malik Blade, Serena Linton, Luca Crucifino, and Tyson DuPont. Those were all the names that we had heard of thus far for this release. I don't know if you want to go one by one through these, Sean, or if you want to just talk about the main ones. But
I'll lump a couple together. I'll lump together the Wyatt Six. I think that Miracle, it was either Miracle or Clown, actually made a really tremendous point saying that they just milked the Bray Wyatt thing, God rest his soul, for as long as they could. And now they're kicking him out the door. I agree completely. I think they milked it. They worked it. They got the documentary out. Again, God rest his soul. And now that they're done, they're done. They gone. You served your purpose here. Goodbye. I think Aleister Black is catching a raw deal. I think that Zelina Vega is catching a raw deal. And what the heck? Kairi Sane?
In the middle of a story.
What are we doing?
In the middle of the story.
She's one of the best female competitors on the planet.
So the Wyatt Six, do you feel they were given a fair shake? Were you over the Bray tribute act? Okay.
Absolutely not. They were not featured in the proper way to get them to a point where they could be successful. No.
And I actually thought what they did was hamper them with the tag titles. They had all these stories going. You did the TLC match. That was great. They win the tag titles, and then it just stopped. Everything stopped. And it slowed down. And I was like, what happened here?
You're 100% right.
You know what I mean? I see some people saying they had the Wyatt Six had a ceiling. Wyatt Six, I don't think WWE had a clue how to book them. There's a reason why Bliss wasn't put with them. I forgot about that because that was speculated by us when they first debuted again as well, that they might have been able to say something. We talked about Zelina. Zelina Vega brought up on her Twitch stream that she was
Doug, I see you, Doug. Be nice. I know that's my thing, but be nice. That was funny.
Yeah. Zelina Vega brought up on her Twitch stream that she thought it was unfair that Sean Ross Sapp reported it before she could have a chance to speak on it. And I'm trying to be polite here because I think Zelina Vega should redirect that energy towards the company who made that decision.
You ain't telling no lie. You ain't telling no lie.
And not only that.
I agree with you completely, Conrad. What are you getting mad at Sean Ross Sapp for?
He did his job.
That's all he did?
Be mad at them for telling him then. Tell them to keep it private then, but they told him.
You're talking right, Conrad, because I think that's silly. I'm not going to say stupid. I know she's hurting right now, but that's silly. What are you mad at Sean Ross Sapp for doing his job?
Not only that, bro, but when you take a look at this and we look at the deeper aspect of things, I just don't understand. And then she went on to say that she wanted to face Sayaka Mitani. And I know some people were getting on her for messing up the names and things like that. Try to have some grace. She did just lose her job. You know what I mean? So that's fine. But also when you bring up that stuff, get your people on point. She mentioned Marigold, and I know that's affiliated with WWE, so maybe that's why she thought that. But she's in Stardom, as I mentioned in the beginning of the show.
Yes.
So if that's what you want to do, great. And then you look at Aleister, and people are bringing up Aleister. And me and Jesse had a long talk today about Aleister from AEW, his time period over there as Malachi Black. Is the bridge burned, in your opinion, for what happened?
Probably not, but it should be. I don't know who these people think they are, and I know it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, Conrad Cushman, but I'm gonna tell you something right here and now, bro. I do feel sorry for Aleister Black. I do, but you ain't gonna sit up here and knock on my door after you left me. Absolutely not. You better go to New Japan.
I think some people showed out a little bit, and you got to be careful how much you show out. Now, did he do it the wrong way? I don't know how he went out. Maybe Tony's cool with him. Like I said, to me, if anything, if they want to go to AEW, fine with me. If I'm Tony, though, I would have a long talk with him about this. This ain't gonna go like it went last time.
No, but a long talk my butt, Conrad, and I appreciate how diplomatic you're being about this. No.
But look at Andrade. People said the
Andrade
same
wouldn't be in my company neither. Andrade wouldn't be. When we first got the news that Andrade was going back, I had the same reaction. Tony, what are we doing? I'm not going to sit up here and allow myself to be the owner of what's considered the minor leagues of professional wrestling, because that's how you're conducting yourself. You're conducting yourself, and Conrad, I want you to really feel me on this. You're conducting yourself like the minor leagues. You're taking WWE rejects after they've already been with you. They go back to WWE because they think the grass is greener. It doesn't work out. Now you're going to accept them back in? What are you? If you're not going to take them back if you want to be taken seriously. How do you think Jon Moxley feels? How do you think Kenny Omega feels? How do you think somebody like Chris Jericho? Let's be honest, Chris Jericho probably left a lot of money on the table to stay in AEW. And you know what he said? He said, I'm sticking. Okay, he didn't? Fine, I appreciate the information.
Well,
Conrad.
I'm just letting you know that WWE's deals aren't as sweet as they used to be.
Okay, I appreciate you.
There's options.
I appreciate you giving me the education, but I'll tell you one thing we know for sure. The platform is bigger. The platform is bigger. So at the end of the day, you're going to sit up here, Aleister Black. Again, I have all the sympathy in the world for you, bro, because you know what? You thought the grass was greener. You thought you had an opportunity to go back and make a name for yourself and be a big star, and WWE did you dirty. But you're not going to come back to my company after you left us for them. I'm sorry. You know what, Conrad? This is what happened. Oh, you know what? My girlfriend broke up with me to get with Conrad. She thinks Conrad's more handsome than Sean could ever be. And then you know what? Sean ends up getting with, Conrad ends up getting with Beyonce and kicks my ex-girlfriend to the curb. Now my ex-girlfriend's going to come back and get with me? And I'm supposed to accept her with open arms? I know you guys probably think the chat think I'm having this fun time. I'm being serious as a heart attack right now. My girlfriend leaves me for you. You drop her, and she come back to me, and I'm supposed to accept that? I will not. Not if I have any pride in myself or my company or my business.
And sometimes
absolutely not.
Sometimes you got to stand on that business too. Let me see here. I'm going back here. Black would fit great in MLW. Yeah, I mean, is that what he wants to do? Maybe. If that's what he wants to do, I'm sure his fans are going to support him for sure. Vinny, what's going on, brother?
What up, Vinny? The only Vinny we like.
There we go. I was waiting for my line.
I'm all fired up. I'm sorry, bro.
No. He just finished flag football, so I hear you. Millennial noobs in here too. I appreciate you. I thought Rob brought up a good point though. Some of these people too, it may have not been they got released. They may have just said, "Hey, we're not going to renew your deal, so we're not going to bring you back to TV, but you got that time, and then do whatever. Once the deal runs out, it runs out." They took the Tony Khan approach, which is, I think, nicer in how it looks, at least to the fan base. But yeah. And if Black left with her, then that's on him. If he decided to leave, I don't know if that's the case. Truthfully, all of this is speculation at this point. That's why I said what we said in the beginning. Millennial New brought up Kyrie. Let's go back to Kyrie saying, because you brought her up too, Sean, and you were kind of, to me, she's the one she's got. We want Kyrie, and I think it was trending at number 2 at one point yesterday. Kyrie Sane kind of did filthy here. She was in the middle of a storyline, and so was Black. Black, they said, could have been in the Pat McAfee spot, which probably would have made more sense with him being Randy Orton.
It would have been more entertaining.
100%. And then we look at this. Kyrie Sane's been doing the storyline with Asuka. We're not going to get a payoff to it. This is why EO wasn't on WrestleMania. What was the purpose of this?
I don't know. I mean, first of all, it wasn't just a storyline, Conrad. It was a potential WrestleMania storyline that they pulled the plug at the last. I thought it was going to be Kyrie in the middle of EO versus Asuka at WrestleMania. We didn't get that, so it turned out to be just EO being Rhea's sidekick. But, I mean, Kyrie, I call her Kyrie. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name right. Excuse me.
You're correct. Kyrie Sane.
Kyrie is a phenomenal talent, and I mean, if the biggest thing for me, Conrad, because I don't want to go on another rant, even though that's kind of my signature. If there's not a more glaring example of WWE not knowing what to do with a talent, if there's not a bigger example of WWE fumbling, I don't know what is. I mean, Kyrie's Kairi Sane's going to be fine, though. I'll tell you that much. Kairi Sane's going to be fine because she's a tremendous rep. She probably has a job offers on the table from all the major companies, every single one of them. I don't know why they did what they did, though, to answer your question. It's really disappointing.
Yeah, I just thought this sounds so bad. I know some people come in here and they're probably like, these guys are always so negative about WWE, blah, blah, blah. I can hear them saying it in the background, or at least in their head. But listen to me. When I talk about them wasting time, you waste my time when I'm actually like, yo, I wouldn't mind seeing Io versus Asuka in a match at WrestleMania. Then you don't do it. I mentioned this. Sean mentioned this. People we did shows with mentioned this WrestleMania week. Even before WrestleMania, we said, like, are they going to put them on the card? I would hope so. Io was in a banger match last year. You would think, like, there's got to be some reward for her carrying the title that whole time and putting on good matches. Nope. Instead, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that instead, and we're just going to get rid of Kairi here. And I'm just like, okay, so now Asuka's by herself. So what's her gimmick? You've harmed that, so she needs a whole new repackaging. And Io Sky is off being the extra for Rhea Ripley at points in time. What are we doing?
That's exactly what it is.
And when you waste people's time, they're going to get upset with that type of stuff. I'm just looking at the full-blown list one more time here just to see. We talked about the Wyatt Six, Bo Dallas, Alba Fire, another one that I'm like, I think she was better off as Katie Lee Ray, KLR, but they didn't go with that at all.
Santos Escobar, they wooed him to come back and then just to let him go again.
He got injured. He was hurt. Same thing with Zoe Stark. Zoe
Stark.
She was ready to come back.
Santos, I know I have fun with the whole Snap Famous thing, but this is sad, bro. All jokes aside, it's sad what they're doing to these people. Letting people go that are on the shelf with an injury. After you let her, I can't speak about Santos Escobar. I didn't see him, but after I saw it. Zelina. Oh my God.
Zoe Stark
in the crowd of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, she was there, and Santos got injured on AAA. He was wrestling out there. Like that just absolutely sucks. Rob had brought up Apollo Crews. I think that could be a blessing in disguise for him as well. That's another one that I'm like, maybe you pick him up. You could put him at least in there, whether he's a friend or a foe, with Ricochet going up against the Demand or being in the Demand. That might actually help him. He should come back probably as Uhaa Nation, too. I don't know if you remember him when he was the independent talent doing that. Sure. He was a humongous deal, and I thought they never really let him live up to that because who did he face for the NXT World title and it was too soon? Was it Finn Balor or was it Nakamura? One of those two, and he got beat, but I was like, oh, you guys should have waited a little bit more.
I want to see Nakamura if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they should have just waited, and they pushed him kind of quick, and then all of a sudden the main roster wanted him, and off to the races he goes. And he was an Intercontinental and U.S. champ. He's no slouch, I don't think either.
And maybe talking about Apollo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he won at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I thought he had a lot of potential
with Trick Willie in his corner.
And I guess I know the NXT people
like know that, bro.
Yeah, Trick Williams was the bodyguard. Yeah. Tyra May Steele, though, like you had an Olympic wrestler.
Well, I mean, that guy Stevenson was just in the same boat. Like they realized, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, less said about him, the better. But
yeah,
I could go on a rant about that. But the Tyra May Steele, like you had her there, she didn't really get to do much. So what's the purpose of that LFG show? And I don't know if you heard Bully Ray's comments or his little words about this, but maybe you didn't shake enough hands. Maybe you didn't talk to the right people. Maybe you didn't. And I'm like, who is this dude, bro? This roster is way bigger than when you were in the company. What are you talking about?
That's a silly comment to make.
Yeah.
Silly comment to make.
Yeah. And then Motor City signing with WWE seemed to be like a bucket list thing. They're going to thrive in AEW. And listen, I don't know how much longer Motor City Machine Guns have, but if I'm them, I would definitely think that they're going to get a call from Tony Khan again. Because
most definitely.
Yeah. Them versus FTR, them versus the Young Bucks. I don't know if you've ever seen Generation Me versus Motor City Machine Guns from TNA, but that's a must watch. I will tell you that. So I wish all of these people success in whatever they decide to do. I hope some of them continue to put on in wrestling because I think they're truly, truly talented people, and they make a whole bunch. Whoa! Tony Khan ghosts you when he's done with you. Yeah, he if you ain't getting no phone calls, it's about to be over pretty much. Yeah. I'm just looking at what people are saying here. Kyrie saying we'll have a big deal in Marigold. Yeah, she went back to Japan, I heard already, is what it sounds like. So she was out with the quickness. Delay Gratz, welcome in. I see you. I want to see Nakamura and AEW give him one last run and have him get retired by Okada. I don't know if that's going to happen, though. Yeah. Casey, I can't say that, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no comment. But yeah, I would love to see Motor City go there. And I think they have a lot to offer to pro wrestling. They've been in the game for a long, long time. But my thoughts go out to the releases, I think Sean's as well. Let's talk a little SmackDown real quick here, because we do have some people coming into the game here. Blake Monroe. Now, I don't know if this is for SmackDown. It said coming soon for her. So maybe she's going to end up on Raw. But is it time, Sean, for you?
I guess. But, I mean, there's a glaring omission in all these call-ups, bro. I mean, as far as Blake Monroe, I have no problem with her being on it. She was a main roster person in AEW. She deserves to be in the spotlight. She's a very talented person. But there's a glaring, especially in the women's, there's a glaring omission. Obviously, Ricky Saints being up I have no issue with that. I have no issue with toxic attraction or fatal attraction or fatal concoction. I have no problem with them being on the main roster, but y'all know who I'm talking about. Who's missing, and I can't even understand it, bro. Why is Jada Parker not in the mix? I don't understand this. Jada Parker is phenomenal.
Maybe they want to give her some more seasoning down there before it's time.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
You need people. But I fear for that NXT like men's world title division, though. I'm like, what's going to happen here? Because
and also let me go on the record real quick as well. Ethan Page is a no-brainer. I'm very glad he got called up.
Oh yeah. And did I have the Ethan Page graphic? No, I don't think I added him in. But Ethan Page got called up. Like, good for him.
Yeah, chat. Let me know what their names are. Fatal Obnoxion, Fatal Concoction.
Someone's got to have this.
Absolution, like what's their name, chat? Let me know.
Yo, you guys are crazy. Yeah, huge omission in these call-ups. It's time to call up Lexus King.
Well, no, I'm talking about Jada Parker, guys.
Honestly, he's probably about to be in the world title picture now. That's
it's true, actually.
It's not doing that good. Here's some good news for us once again.
Fatal emotion.
SmackDown.
Fatal contusion. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
SmackDown will be reportedly returning to 2 hours in a few weeks.
Well, that should make you happy, Conrad Cushman.
Maybe I'll watch it again. Maybe I'll find some time. I have been enjoying my CMLL though on the side. Yeah. I'm not gonna hold you there. And then we go over to Fightful Select over here.
I see you, clown. I see you, BJ.
There is a new wrestler coming to NXT. If you watched last week, there was a box given to Tony D.
Oh, God.
It looks like Evil will be coming to WWE.
Get ready for your career to be ruined.
We can't say that just yet. We don't know.
His new name in WWE is going to be called Not That Bad.
Someone said he's going to be called Good.
That's right.
Yeah. Tony D has no one to feud with. They're gonna have to try to find some people. BJ said that Jade is getting the Ember Moon treatment in regards to leaving her behind when everyone else goes up from that group. Bailey got that too, though, to be fair.
That's true, but Bailey came up 2 months later? Come on, bro.
Well, they probably were like, we need more people to work with that actually know what we're doing here. Will his name be Evil or Vile?
Actually, they might do some stupid crap like that. Delayed Grass might be onto something.
Rob, I'm not going to disagree with that either, with what you're saying with Jada Parker. I think that if you could polish her up more, and when she comes up, she could be a bigger deal. It's probably better to go up would you rather go up in a big clash, Sean, where there's like 4 to 5, 6 of you going up at a time, or if it's just, we just want Jada Parker? Now you know you're going to get focused because it's just you.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but to me, Jada Parker's been done dirty at NXT. She might as well come up. Like, to me, Jada Parker being overlooked and being passed over for Lola Vice, to me, is a disgrace. And I like Lola Vice. Lola Vice should not have leapfrogged. I'm not talking about I see your face, bro. I'm not talking about coming to the main roster. I'm talking about being NXT champion.
Oh, I think they're going to end up having to work together, though. That's what Jada Parker was. Let's say here in NXT, she is now up here with the world champion. Like she's going to be in that. Like you have no choice at this point to put some of these people in the mix. They've been around for a long time.
Right.
And Sean, before we get ready to head on out of here, we got to talk about one more thing, and it's going to make me happy. I don't know if you saw this. Lucha Underground's social media account finally tweeted something, and it said Mas. They teased a return. Now, I saw on their YouTube channel and socials, I thought that it was just going to be that they're trying to rerun episodes, but they did like and pin someone's comment about them coming back. I don't know how you felt about Lucha Underground. I love that show. I thought it was fantastic.
I respect it.
Listen, Conrad was just an AEW fan. You must have not listened to me before this. I love Lucha Underground. I'm talking about like with all my soul. That was my show at the time. Like Wednesday nights, I was in front of the TV here.
Conrad gets back, guys. I just want to say, for me, Lucha Underground is one of the most high-profile. I know it's kind of like double talking, like high-profile, under-the-radar organizations ever, and I have a lot of respect for it, Conrad. I see you.
No, I'm good. What, is it freezing? Is that what you're saying?
It was, but you're good now.
Yeah, you're freezing on my end.
Listen, I took care of it like a champion. Nobody would have known.
I can hear myself, though.
No, what I'm telling you is that I covered you. I covered you like a blanket, brother. And you said so. You didn't have to say a word. Just come back and start talking.
No, because I keep wondering if something's wrong on my end.
Yeah, I thought, Conrad, because it's freezing on my end, but we'll see. I'm glad you're back.
Yeah. So I hope that it can come back. Like I said, Kairi Sane was one of the people. That's where I first saw Kairi Sane, truthfully. She was in a match against Pentagon Dark. Fantastic. She was in the Black Lotus Triad. Really, really dope, man. Yeah, that was our jam, bro. Lucha Underground. That is a fact.
Yeah, no question. Some great athletes on there.
Yeah, word up. Thank you, BJ, for letting me know that. I hope it comes back. I was looking forward to that. That's all that I got, though, Sean. I mean, did we miss anything? Is there anything you want to bring up or talk about?
Everything else out the box. Make sure you guys are ready to rock and roll with us this Thursday night. First of all, Wednesday night, of course. Wednesday night, Conrad and my guy, Derek. Everything Pro Wrestling presents AEW Dynamite Review. This Thursday, Hubbanomics is back with a big show. Myself and Conrad. The title of the show, oh my goodness. The title of the show is called How to Fix WrestleMania. I am super excited. Thursday night, 8:35 Eastern Standard Time. Myself and Conrad are going to be talking to you about how we would fix WrestleMania. Conrad, look, as we get ready for Monday Night Raw tonight, I think that we need to have a level head about this thing. Obviously, Roman Reigns is going to answer Jacob Fatu's challenge. We all anticipate the answer is going to be yes. After Roman Reigns says, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Fatu's going to say, "Yes, I want to do this." And then he's going to accept the challenge, and everything's going to be squared away for Tampa Bay when they go to Backlash. I just hope they do this thing right. You know, I will admit, though, as much as I'm a big fan of the Bloodline, when you run something back, you got to do it right. Because everybody's going to compare the first time around. Now here's the thing, and I'll leave you with this, Conrad. You got a world champion in Jey Uso returning to the Bloodline. You have a much more charismatic and much more relatable character in Big Jim returning to the Bloodline. And you have a more relatable and respectable tribal chief in the Bloodline. So it seems different already. They just have to try not to screw it up.
Yeah, and they got to find what are you doing with the vision. Braun Breaker seems set. You got Punk, who, if we're going to delay this Cody Rhodes stuff, well, what's next for CM Punk? You're going to have to figure out what you're getting him into tonight. Intercontinental title picture has more figured out, I think, for what's going on with that, with Penta, Miro, Ethan Page, and Javon Evans. So it's going to be a long one, man. It's going to be a long one tonight, but I hope you guys all get ready to enjoy Raw in about 30 minutes here. Sean, take us out, brother.
Yeah, man. On behalf of my good friend, my brother Conrad Cushman, Everything Pro Wrestling, my name is Sean Hubbard, HW Weekly. Make sure you check us out this Wednesday night, my guy Derek and Conrad, for the one and only AEW on EPW show. Obviously, I just said, make sure you check us out. Hubbanomics is going to be back in the mix. Actually, it's not Hubbanomics. It's a special edition of Clash of the Podcast this Thursday. at 8:35 Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, there's only one place to be next Monday, 6:05, as you already know, one and only, right here, the mothership, Clash of the Podcast. We were going to be back in the building. We look forward to seeing you guys there. So until then, God bless, be encouraged, evil never prevails.